Hello again, this is Andrew Culkin, and I'm the author of Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. It's the story of my wife's 20-year decline and her passing away a little over 3 years ago. Today I want to talk about kind of the why of why I'm doing this, why I wrote the book, why I do speeches, why I make videos, why I talk about this same subject, because it's a very important subject, and in one way or another, it affects almost 50% of just the United States in some way, either directly or indirectly. Someone has a friend, a relative, a loved one who's either struggling with alcoholism or on the verge of it, or drug addiction, or some sort of addiction. That's all related as far as mental illness goes. But I really want to help younger people, mainly because that's when you can correct it more readily. Certainly, just like cancer or heart disease, in the early stages, there's 4 stages of, like cancer, for example. You have stage 4, you have a very little chance of survival. It's very similar to alcoholism. If you're in stage 4 of alcoholism, similar to cancer, you've got about a 5% chance of survival. There's little opportunity for someone to overcome 20 or 30 years of habits. So if you can catch a younger person who is a teenager or in their 20s, when they're really on stage 1, hopefully they're only on stage 1, and that's the stage where you are creating habits, where you're starting to drink on a regular basis because it's socially acceptable. If you're in college or even in high school, there's a lot of peer pressure to be part of a group. When you're young and impressionable, that's when it starts. Also, to get over, certain shynesses or insecurities. That's why people start drinking. And to escape one's life. That's why people start. But if you have a loved one or a friend or relative, and you recognize in them that they're starting to go down this path, I want people to be able to read this story, Amanda's story, and understand what happens if you are not intrusive, if you do not have an intervention, if you do not get in the way or in the path of someone's destructive behavior, because it gets real ugly. I was married for 25 years, and I'm telling you, if you have to hold someone's hand and turn off their machines and watch them die, there's a reason for all of this. You don't want other people to have to go through this and experience this horror. And that was just the end of it. That was just the end. So we need to catch people earlier on in their life and get in the way of their habits. You have to get in the way of their habits. You have to put, even if they're a teenager, there's no reason why they can't go to a rehab facility. They have to recognize in themselves, more than anything, that they're going down the wrong path. The quicker you get it, the easier it is. If you get somebody in the first stage, they have a 80% chance of survival, that they're not going to go to stage 2 and create a bigger habit that's actually physically and emotionally destructive. At least in the first stages, you're young enough and you're not being as destructive as you can in the later stages. I hope that makes sense. It's one of the motivators of why I do this, is certainly to help other people, help other families, more than just the alcoholics. It's to help the other people that are around the alcoholics just as much. If you would, again, like and share. The book is coming out in the fall of 2023. You can go to www.amandacautionarytale.com and get on the waiting list when the book comes out. Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you soon.